God,
All right.
anything.
All right, we're live, pal.
We're
live, pal. Let's see what's happening.
Hair
Let me go ahead
sticking out all over the place.
Share this over to Facebook.
Jill, share it to Facebook. Tag my ass. Hey man, I got a like from John Oates on TikTok yesterday.
Nice.
I told him that his song, the best. I can't think of the song now, but the song that's on the About Last Night soundtrack. I don't know if you ever listened to that at all. I told him that's the best song on the whole damn soundtrack. I forgot what I was responding to.
I don't know. Living inside inside myself or something like that.
The Bob Seger song.
Yeah,
that's not far behind, man. I do like that one.
Because they're having sex the entire time during the Bob Seger track. That's all I know in the movie.
That's a good point. You got to go to work tonight?
I do. That's why we have to record.
That's what I kind of figured.
That's how it is. Sad to hear the news about Bobby Eaton's wife, Donna Dundee Eaton, who passed away. We're not getting a lot of details about that, but it's obviously very sad. I think most people knew. Some people did not know that she was, in addition to being Bobby Eaton's wife, she was the daughter of superstar Bill Dundee.
Superstar. You know, he's another guy. I was talking a couple of weeks ago about people that used to come in and out of the Mid-Atlantic area, and I was always excited to see. He was one of those guys, man. I loved seeing superstar Bill Dundee come in.
Not really. I mean, I don't know if I really appreciated him in his time. I know in Memphis,
I didn't either.
Obviously, he was somebody they could feud him with freaking Lawler for days and days and days and put them together and break them apart and team them and then have them betray each other and all that stuff. So yeah,
they were like the Sami Zayn and Kevin. I still want to call him Steen, dude,
because you're such a mark.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, it's like them before Dundee and Lawler were like them really before them.
The news was confirmed on the Facebook page of Cauliflower Alley Club on Saturday evening. I'm assuming that Brian Blair is still in charge of the Cauliflower Alley Club. It was in the form of an official statement regarding the passing of Donna Eaton. We send out our thoughts and prayers and sincerest condolences to Bobby Eaton and Bill Dundee and his family for the passing of Bobby's wife, Donna, who was Bill's daughter. Very sad news indeed. Rest in peace, Donna Dundee Eaton, who I think was maybe 58. I don't think she was that old at all. But not much more about that. Exists. I know, of course, Bobby has had a number of health problems over the years related to diabetes and other issues. And I know that he's had some extended stays in the hospital and he's been able to kick out of it. So I know it's a very difficult blow and a tough thing for that family. So our thoughts are with the Eatons and the Dundees because it's a big blow right there.
It is a big blow, and God bless Bobby Eaton, man. It seems like he's been through so much between, like you said, his own health issues and I don't know, just different things, and then this.
Yeah.
And he's such a good guy too. I mean, when you and I talked to him that time, it was like talking to your next door neighbor, dude.
It was. Like, he's a super guy. He's a really super guy. And I was talking to him about because he's such a huge Alabama football fan. I was talking
Auburn,
about
Alabama.
I was talking about when Kenny Stabler died, and of course all that stuff. So he's old enough to remember all that shit. And just a
Auburn, Alabama was on, I think, and he was trying to do his thing, plus try to sneak a peek at the game and stuff. He's asking us to score, I think, when we walked up.
That's one of those things where people give Cornette a hard time. And Cornette can be like a ridiculous bastard about a lot of stuff. But anytime that he can get a payday for those guys, he tries to show up. Anytime he can orchestrate some money for those guys at a signing or any convention like WrestleCade or whatever, he tries to get them together. And if he can get everybody together, he does that. And if he can't, but he always tries to get those guys paid. I'm sure he takes some money, sure, but he sells his books. He's got his gimmicks that he sells and stuff, including.
But he definitely doesn't leave them out of anything.
No, he tries to get those boys paid every opportunity that he gets. I think that's part of one of the great things that's so laudable about Jim Cornette and about the kind of the tradition that he grew up in pro wrestling when it came back to the territories and stuff, because they would always try, a lot of promoters would try to get the old timers paid somehow on a show, whether it was to have them come back in a guest spot as a manager or a referee or just something. And they would try to get some of the old timers back to make a couple extra bucks. And Jim's always trying to do that with the boys, trying to get them some extra money.
Yeah. He's real good for that, man. And, you know, he's definitely got his moments and had his moments in the past, but that's why I hang on to not just completely disliking him or whatever, because I think he's got a good heart. I mean,
eventually,
I think he eventually down there
somewhere
there's a good heart in there, because I think he cares for kids. I think he cares for animals. Well, I know he cares for animals and kids.
Sure.
And the boys like that. I mean, I don't know. We all have our faults, but Cornette he's one of a kind. So it's hard to just totally dislike him.
You saw him breaking up and being emotional during Dark Side of the Ring. You saw in a couple of those, particularly the Owen Hart thing, where he's recounting the last thing that Owen Hart ever did was tell people get out of the way because he's falling and it's probably going to kill somebody. And that was, that, and he cried, and he starts breaking up just recounting that. Yeah,
I know. And just stuff like that. It's hard to just totally dislike him. And like I said before, a few weeks ago or whatever, I've kind of slacked up on listening to his podcast. I used to listen to it all the time. And I couldn't wait for it to come out. I didn't really listen to the drive through as much. I always listen to the one that comes out on Friday.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just kind of got tired of some of the same old rants and raves, even though some of them were funny. I'm not going to lie, but yeah, I think he does have a good heart somewhere, like you said, down in there somewhere.
He and Last are doing a fun thing on one of them, and maybe more than one of them, is where Last will go back and he'll read a card from a certain era, and Jim will try to figure out which territory it is and what year it was.
Oh, that's cool.
It's pretty fun because they'll go through this stuff, and Jim's able to kind of reverse it. And Jim, he gets close more often than not. Sometimes he'll be way off on some things, but it's also a great way to learn the history. Like you and I are always trying to learn the history and stuff about the territories and what happened in territories we didn't grow up in or around. And now it's so easy to go back and look up the history of, the Mid-South or San Francisco or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Back in the day, dude. Yeah.
So they're doing that. And then I still, especially during these particular times when AEW Dynamite is being moved all over the place, I still say that hearing him shit on AEW Dynamite is probably more entertaining than watching the show itself.
Well, even before I stopped listening to him all the time, he was doing that, quite a bit. So some of those are definitely funny. I mean, it's just, even though I like Kenny Omega, I like to hear him talk shit about him. I just think it's funny.
Well, I mean, some of the stuff he says about Omega, it's spot on. I mean, the guy is
I know.
Jazz hands and all that stuff. I mean, Kenny Omega is really super into his own shit. I mean, you can say whatever. It's made him as great as he is. I don't think he's the worker that he was in 2017 or 2018, but he's really super into his own shit. And he kind of has to be, I guess, for his gimmick. So a lot of the criticisms that he makes about Kenny Omega are, they've got some validity to them, I think.
Yeah, and well, I still need to go back and watch a little more some of the stuff that you've seen in the past at New Japan that I'm not really seeing, and I can have a better comparison to the two Omegas, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely seems that way. I don't know. It's hard to tell when guys like damn MJF and people like that. It's hard to tell where their character ends.
I think they made the point on that show that MJF has been severely downgraded, and they don't even really like seeing him anymore. I think MJF had a little bit of a comeback on Saturday night's AEW Dynamite show. I thought that was kind of a reestablishment of him. There was some pretty good stuff on there.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Back up. Hold on. What happened? It's something seriously something happened?
No, they can't stand MJF the way that the character has been portrayed. And then MJF came out last night. He cut a pretty good promo and stuff and kind of reestablished himself. It was like, I'm the guy that you want to watch on the show. And I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, I got you. That makes sense.
Jungle Boy was in a pretty good match with Omega. I do like the thing where Omega comes out with all the 50 belts and shit. It's very funny.
Yeah, that is funny.
I still think that it's pretty hilarious that there's an Impact belt and a TNA belt.
What?
It's the same thing. I don't understand that. I don't get that at all. How they okay, have they ever in that promotion go, okay, this guy's the TNA champion, but this guy is the Impact champion. And now we have to reconcile these two.
There's not even a TNA anymore.
And the TNA guy, he represents the greatness of the tradition of total nonstop action. And the Impact guy, he represents the future. So we have to reconcile. I don't know how they do that, but I think that's pretty fun. It's actually reminiscent of that time. I guess it was in USWA when they gotten all those titles and they put them on Brian Lawler. And then have you seen the little red wagon thing? Have you seen that?
I don't know if I have or not.
I
don't think so.
He won, like, he had all of the titles because Jerry Jarrett had nobody else really to carry it. So Brian Lawler comes trucking him out in the studio and he's got like all these titles and they start putting them on the scale and weighing them. And then Brian puts his thumb on the scale and Dave's like, what are you putting your thumb? No, Dave, what are you talking about, Dave? I'm not doing that. Shut up. It's just like, it's classic.
That's so great.
It is. It's wonderful. And so at Brian's funeral, they brought out like the little red wagon out to the coffin at the memorial. Yeah,
I did hear about that. But I've forgotten it all about. Yeah, okay.
That's all. The if you Google Brian Christopher Little Red Wagon, it's pretty easily available on YouTube. It's very, very funny.
That's awesome. Okay.
No, Dave, that's not what's going on, Dave.
And man, something I did learn over in the last couple of days that I don't know, man. I guess just somehow, some way, it just went right over my head. Back when Rocky IV came out, and you may know this, and I'm just totally in the dark. You know what I'm going to say about Rocky IV? About wrestling, the wrestler who tried out for the part. Actually, there were two wrestlers.
I've heard this. Yeah, I've heard this. I think it's sort of semi been confirmed. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was watching the video of the guy talk. It was Nikita Koloff.
Yeah, the Russian for the Drago role, right?
Yeah, and he was talking about that whole experience, and it was him and Kerry Von Erich, and Lundgren, and
Kerry Von Erich, really?
Yeah. The funny thing, I got to tell you what he said about Kerry Von Erich. He said,
"Didn't you love the introduction? The modern day warrior." when they would. He is the modern day warrior.
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't know where that came from, but whatever.
Hilarious. It's great.
It is hilarious. They were going for comedy.
The modern day warrior, like 5 million, like all these girls. The girls across the sportatorium are creating like a waterfall effect. They're just dying because this guy. They love this guy. What did he say about KVH?
He said that he was talking about Uncle Ivan. He goes, while we're on the road, how great Ivan was at helping him with his learn the lines for the tryout, and he was taking it seriously. And I'm going to just tell the whole damn thing if you don't mind, because it was really interesting to me. Because Nikita's, first of all, just one of my favorites of all time, anyway. And
he showed up at the Don Kernodle memorial.
He probably did. I think he lives around here somewhere.
He does, and I understand that he had his daughters with him, and I understand that his daughters are lovely. That's what I hear.
I can imagine that.
A very well placed source.
I'm sure. So he was talking about Ivan going up and down the road, and he said initially Jim Crockett wouldn't let him try out for it because he thought they had this big. I forgot what storyline he said had been planned for him. And it was just this big buildup would just be for nothing because he'd have to go shoot the movie. And Dusty came into Crockett's office and said, No, Jimmy, no, listen to me.
Listen, what's going to happen here?
I wish you knew this so you could do this voice because it would sound. But basically, Dusty told him, said, no, Jim, let him go do this because that means people are going to start watching us more once they know who Nikita Koloff is. It's going to be good for NWA.
That's right, baby, because we saw what happened with Rocky III and that big motherfucker in that movie right there, baby.
That big blonde motherfucker.
That big motherfucker right there, Thunder Lips.
Yeah. So he obviously let him do it, and he said he got to the tryout. It was him, 3 people, him and Kerry Von Erich, like I said, and Dolph Lundgren. And he said he went before he went in first. He saw Kerry there. He went up to him and started talking. And he said, Kerry came up to him and said, hey, man, do you know your lines? And Nikita started laughing. He's like, yeah, don't you? And Kerry's like, not really. I don't. I really looked at him a whole
Doesn't
lot.
Doesn't in that movie Drago have like 6 lines in like a 2-hour movie?
I crush you.
That's basically.
I think that was about it.
That's all he's got, really.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. I mean, how much would it take to, But anyway, Nikita's like, man, I had my stuff down. I was ready to go. I was pumped up for this role, And he goes out there and he said he killed it. And he said everybody told him he killed it, but later on, Lundgren got the role. And he said later on he found out that the reason he didn't get it, he said, and let me say, I'm not knocking Stallone, because Stallone was great to me the whole time, because he really overshadowed Stallone. And I know you're thinking, well, damn, Lundgren did too, but not as much. He said Nikita was a lot thicker and taller.
Yeah, that's why Carl Weathers got the part as Apollo Creed, because he was a linebacker for the Raiders, and now he's kind of small to be in the NFL and wasn't a great linebacker, but he was perfect.
But he had moves, had a nice body and stuff.
Oh, he did, but he's like, I think Stallone's like 5'6" or 5'7".
Yeah,
like
he's
that.
Short, dude.
So Carl Weathers is like 5'7", 5'8", so it looks better. But yeah, Nikita's like way bigger than that. Lundgren's a little bit shorter than that. Yeah, I understand that Nikita and Kerry Von Erich said that they objected to the use of steroids. They said, if I'm not going to have anybody portraying me as putting a needle in my ass, so you can just forget that, Mr. Hollywood producer. That's not happening.
No, we don't do that stuff. But yeah, I didn't mean to make a whole big thing about it, but I just really found that interesting, because I like I said, I just totally missed that over time.
You heard the stories about. You heard him about being on the jet and stuff with the boys, and he would still be doing the
character,
character, and they'd be like, you can knock it off. We know you're not from the Ukraine or anything like that. It's fine.
Not even close, dude.
It's fine. I'd have to give me the chicken salad or whatever he's doing, and they're like, you can stop that. I don't know what's more disturbing, like Nikita doing that Russian accent or Baby Doll making out with Sam Houston on the plane. I'm not sure which one of those I would have found more disturbing.
Yeah, that's a toss-up.
I would have gotten into it. I would have watched Baby Doll and she was like, that's good. I would because look at I tell you what, I got a video camera. I'm gonna start directing some movies, baby. Jim Crockett Promotion gonna start doing movies.
Jim Crockett. I got you Jim Crockett Promotions, right?
Well, I need you to go ahead. I need that penis to go over. I need it to go over, Sam.
Yeah, Nikita.
I wonder. Like it's funny that they were like from the beginning they were so troubled that oh Baby Doll, you can't date this guy because he's not a star. That was like Dusty's big objection to that relationship. Like.
That's when Dusty doesn't make sense.
That's when they go. He allegedly goes, "I can't have you date one of the roadies." That's what he said. It's essentially what he said. So they were both punished for that, especially her. She was like booked way down the card and shit like that. So yeah, odd.
Yeah, that's too bad, man.
Did you get to see any of AEW's Dynamite show?
I did. I watched it all. Thank you.
That was a good. It was a good opening match. I mean, they're just using Hangman like a freaking like toilet paper, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's too easy with him.
Maybe the MVP of the promotion. You can plug
at this
him
point.
You can plug him in any spot. He gets over. He's a decent, not a great promo, but a good promo. Works like a motherfucker. He can be a heel or a face. Based on this promotion from week to week, it could change. And then he's got this Hobbs kid. He gets the Hobbs guy over. I think there's going to be some comparisons between that guy and Big E because they're both big, thick, huge, strong dudes.
They can move, man.
They can move like crazy, but I think Hobbs is pretty good. And I thought Hangman gave him a pretty good match.
Yeah, I think, if you had told me back when AEW first started that at this point in the game that he could very well be their man, I don't know if I'd have believed that. I don't think so. I mean, I think he would be a crowd favorite all the time. I don't think he could ever be a true heel, but I don't think I would have put him in the position that I think he is right now, or seems to be right now.
To me, he's like, he always had that working man kind of thing. Like he was going to continue to pound and pound almost like a Fisher and O'Reilly. Like they're gonna be kind of sneaky, but they're never gonna stop, and they're always gonna give you like these performances when you least expect it. He's never gonna go half-ass in the ring, and he's been able to do that and a whole lot more, and he's been consistent. There's been so few people in that promotion that have been consistent from day one.
I agree.
He's been able to overcome a lot, and I think he's doing really well.
Yeah, I don't see why he can't continue this. I mean, it's just skyrocket from here. And to think, back, I'd have never thought this about him, even going back further than that, back when he was with ROH.
Exactly.
And, he was like a mid-carder there almost.
Well, first of all, he's just another Adam, right? At that point.
Yeah, sure. That's the truth. I think that hurt him some.
Right. So once he goes over to Japan, gets the Hangman gimmick, starts doing that, and then they sign him there, and he's kind of gone to a whole new level. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, and he's just getting better, man. He's getting better. That's the thing. And he's still fairly young. I don't even know how old is he? Mid-20s, almost 30.
So. I think so.
Something like that.
He's
and another thing about you talking about the working man part, they strategically, and I know this is Captain Obvious here, but they strategically say he's from Aaron's Creek, Virginia. They don't. Some people don't even say where they're from at all, but they'll tell them, he's from Aaron's Creek, Virginia. He's a good old boy. Yeah. So I think that's cool that they do that.
He's going to be 31 in July. No, wait a minute. He'll be 30. Yeah, he'll be 30 in July.
30. Okay. Right.
So yeah, still a fairly young guy.
Yeah, definitely.
Apparently, he at least attended Virginia Tech. Now, I don't know if he actually has a degree or not.
Okay, well, if it said, you know how that works. If they say attended or graduated from, okay.
Well, that's how they got Terry. That's how they got Terry Funk to be the world champion, because there was some among the NWA guys. There was some controversy, and then Dory Jr. goes, "I just want you to know, my brother has a college education," which was technically true. I think Terry Funk is still about 6 credits short of graduating from West Texas State, which is now West Texas A&M. But my brother, and that's what put Terry over the top, and he became, the guy. They picked him to be the world champion.
Yeah, smart move there, Dory.
A very good video package hyping Omega versus Jungle Boy for later on. They set it up as one of the biggest matches in Dynamito history. The Young Bucks and Brandon Cutler cut a promo. Matt said they're the longest reigning tag champions in AEW history. Cutler started to talk, but was told to shut up repeatedly. You've seen now the promos and the hype video and everything about All Elite Wrestling making their New York debut at Arthur Ashe Stadium coming up later on this year. I think it's going to be September or something, maybe not even September.
I think it was. Yeah, that's U.S. Open time, right?
It is.
No, that's right. So yeah, sometime September or August or something. Yeah, I did see that.
Interesting choice to make it outdoors there at the U.S. Tennis Center or whatever it is.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of risky.
I agree.
I mean, just weather-wise, it's just risky anywhere. But I don't know. I don't know.
So September the 15th, they make their debut in Newark, New Jersey at the Prudential Center. That'll be an interesting show. And then the 22nd, it is at the Billie Jean King National Tennis Center in Flushing Meadow, New York, home of the U.S. Open, with George Costanza eating ice cream and getting it all over his face.
Billie Jean King is not my love.
September the 15th is a Wednesday. September the 22nd is a Monday. So I'm not sure what that's all about, but it does say weird. September the 15th, AEW presents Dynamite from 7 to 11 at the Prudential Center, and the 22nd, AEW Dynamite in New York City. Yeah.
Good Lord.
Well, they got to have Dark and Dark Elevation, and here's Paul White's paycheck, and here's the
Hershey's Dark.
We're still getting a lot of heat from James Good about his freaking stupid ass. You gotta watch Dark. You gotta watch Dark. It's like a podcast.
No, I don't.
Wrestling. Well, put it in fucking podcast form. I'll put it on my show. I'll put it on my fucking phone and I'll listen to it, you shit. I don't want to hear that stuff. By the way, those shit birds, they have this friend of theirs named Gurge, and they're on this other chat thread, which I've muted because it's really annoying. And Gurge is one of these really super smart millennials who knows everything and has everything on Reddit, and he's really conquered the world. He's the best. People. So Ric Flair cuts promos on Gurge all the time now. He's done that for the past couple of days. Yeah.
Oh, is that right?
Hey, Gurge, you're a piece of shit, and Reddit sucks. Woo! He does stuff like that.
That's good.
And then Gurge is like, I can't, is that the guy? Is that's stupid? Is he Hulk Hogan? I'm like, no, Hulk Hogan is not Ric Flair. Here's how you tell the difference. Hulk Hogan fucked his best friend's wife. I fucked your mom. Woo! So he's doing that shit.
Yeah.
Gurge is like just the biggest fucking piece of shit in the history of the universe. He really is awful. But then he like takes all this offense if you start talking about his mom or something. I don't know what's going on with that guy. But he's always like, on Reddit it said that Joe Biden has enslaved 70 million white people.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Not one of them.
It's all that.
Joe Reddit said there was a kid in New Mexico that turned into a lizard when he got the COVID vaccine.
It's that shit.
God dang. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you have to deal with that.
It's just it's more them. But I
was going to say, whose idea was this? Because all those guys are cool. I love those guys.
They are, but when they get into
good.
When they get into troll mode, it's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I like it when they turn their full troll attention toward him. They're really enjoying the Ric Flair thing. They're like they'll just give me scenarios like, what would Ric Flair say about cryptocurrency?
This is a major ball Ric Flair for Dogecoin. Woo! Real money sucks. I love cryptocurrency. Woo! All governments are going to collapse anyway. Get you some Dogecoin today and you can go all night long. Woo!
See what we need to do here is quit getting Rick on these D-level promotions. We need on these commercials. We need to jump up to like Tide and goddamn, Mountain Dew or something, something.
Yeah, fucking Stone Cold's getting that Procter & Gamble money, son. You're over here with Car Shield.
That's what I'm talking about. Exactly. Thank you.
That's what the deal is.
Stone Cold nice goddamn tea.
You put some Tide in there, you can use cold water. Sometimes I pour cold water on my dick because my dick wants to go all night long. Woo!
Cut. Nate, I don't think we can use that. That's not going to be something.
Yeah, we can use it on HBO.
I don't think on the new HBO Max show with Conan O'Brien. That's going to be our sponsor. The Young Bucks and Brandon Cutler cut a promo. Matt said the longest reigning tag champions in AEW history. Who is this Brandon Cutler fellow?
Oh, that's their buddy. Remember? It's like he's like your boy. Come on, their other buddy.
Oh, is he their young boy? Oh, knocka. He did it again. He did it again this week on the Jim Cornette experience. He goes, it was Shinsuke Nakamura, not to be mistaken with Michael knock it off and get off my TV. I don't care. It's still funny.
I'm telling you that. I mean, some things will always be funny. That goes up in the file with the Daniel Bryan Warriors. The whole thing, man. This is the same level. Man.
Really, Michael knock it off of all this shit. Oh, that's funny.
But Brandon Cutler, I thought he was pretty funny. He was kind of funny in that promo.
He started to talk, told to shut up repeatedly.
Yeah. And then he said that one line in the one buck. I don't know which one it is.
Bald buck.
Said, I like that. Well, I'll keep that one. Brandon Cutler's like, yes.
They listed all the people they beat in the next day. Kingston and Penta El Zero Miedo.
Nice.
We'll get to it in just a moment. They're not even real tag wrestlers. The Bucks are going to beat them because they're EVPs, extremely violent people. Get it? Not executive vice presidents, but extremely violent people.
Boy, I got it.
It's so funny. Oh, Tim Tebow's a tight end. It's so funny.
I laughed so hard about it last night. I just can't laugh anymore.
Right. Now, I heard this one described as interesting and kind of strange. What did you think of the Tully Blanchard and Conan piece?
I liked it. I'm going to tell you, I liked it.
It was a little odd. It kind of drug on for a minute. In case you missed it, it ends up with Conan getting the shit kicked out of him by FTR. They come in the ring and they just start beating the shit out of him.
I liked the damn shading on each other, man. That was some good shit.
Oh, and we went backstage and Santana Ortiz had been laid out. So we've gone away from.
God,
at least they weren't kidnapped and thrown into a van or something.
No,
they were just laid out backstage.
Yeah, just laid them out backstage. That's a whole lot easier to believe.
We didn't throw him into like a Dodge Odyssey or like a Honda Odyssey or something, wwhatever.
Some dude with hoods on. You know who they are. You know, it's like the Midnight Cowboy, Midnight Rider.
What was it he was calling
whatever.
it for? Cornette was calling it for a while. Abduction Elite Wrestling or something.
Yeah.
All abduction wrestling.
All abduction wrestling.
It's like they were having a fight with NXT for a while as to who could have more kidnappings on their show.
God, no shit. Now they're in a fight of who's got the most factions.
It is. So far, AEW still the champion, but NXT, you're coming up on the outside.
They're coming up. They got that new one with Roderick Strong now. Do you see this one?
Yeah. What do they call it? The Diamond Steel Blade? What are they calling it?
The Diamond.
Diamonds and Dust or Diamond Crumbs or
something,
shit crumbs or something. I don't know.
It happened at the end of that. Happened into that Kyle O'Reilly match with
I saw it, and then I don't know who's in. It's like a 3-person.
I don't even know the other guys. Yeah,
I don't either. Don't get used to them. They're gonna get fired next week, so don't even get attached to them.
Yeah.
Prince Pretty no longer. Prince Pretty is no
Prince
longer.
Pretty, I know, man.
He's gone out. He's terrible.
I liked his music. I did like his gimmick when he first started, with the selfie stick and all that.
See, that's another one where I thought he had like tremendous momentum coming out of NXT, and then they bungled the main roster switch off, right? Yeah.
Yeah, just imploded.
They're just, and now the rumor from David Meltzer from the Wrestling Observer is now that Vince just wants, I just want big young guys. And that's not even to have sex with. That's like on the roster.
How
dare you say such a thing? God damn it.
You didn't say anything about Basement or Ultimate Warrior. I didn't hear anything about that.
They never did that. That's such a weird story. It's such a weird story.
Let me tell you about my first homosexual experience.
Here's what happened. Somebody passed out. I just started fucking them. There was a group of guys around, but I didn't care. I just kept fucking. That's what happened. By the way, we got that story from no one. No one gave us that story. We read about it on Reddit or one of those alt.pro wrestling things from
We're all about Reddit.
20 years ago. This is what I wanted to talk to you about. Vicky Guerrero interrupts during Dante's entrance with her excuse me stick and brought out Andrade El Idolo. Brian, I'm going to make the statement. She's not getting him over. It's not working. Whatever they were trying to do with her and him, she's not getting him over. I don't know if he's able to get himself over with his mouth. I'm pretty sure he can get himself over with his wrestling, but this ain't happening.
Here's my theory.
Okay.
Tell me if I'm, and we're going to go with your old Occam's razor here.
All right.
Because I was talking to our boy Colton last night on Instagram while this was on, and he said the same thing you did.
Yeah.
He said, the Vicky Guerrero shit's got to go. That's just, and I'm like, here's why they're doing it. And you said it, because he can't do a promo.
Right.
And I don't think they can get Zelina Vega over there until maybe her contract's up or something like that, because she would be there. She'd be there doing, and there she was probably, Vicky Guerrero is probably the easiest pick they had to be the spokesperson for a heel like him, especially. But here's the thing. I don't think they thought it out very well, but that's why she's doing it. But why they didn't maybe pick somebody, I don't know. They might not.
It's different.
I mean, who else would you get? I mean,
I don't know, but it's not happening. It's different than when Jake the Snake gets somebody over and Jake actually gets himself over instead of the guy he was supposed to get over. She's not even getting herself over. I think she's got value. I think she can do it, but this isn't happening.
As much as she gets on my nerves too, and I definitely get what y'all are saying about her. I don't think for the average person, that maybe doesn't keep up with wrestling as much as you and I and whatever, I think she's perfect for him. And I don't. Now she don't have to stay there long. Now she could, they could work Zelina in once she's available. I think anyway. I don't even know why she wouldn't be really, but that's my guess. I don't know why else she wouldn't be there. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
So
Zelina would be way better. Zelina would be way better at getting him over, and did get him over to an extent.
Oh yeah. But the thing here, the thing about Zelina, she's so hot, you can't hate her. You know, how can you hate her?
But then you do hate her. So like she gets instant heat from every woman.
Yeah.
Like, right?
Yeah.
And then if you're watching it and your wife or your girlfriend is around, then you can't like pretend that you like her. Then you have, yeah, she sucks. She's terrible.
Oh, she's horrible. Oh, yeah. Personality sucks and everything.
That's obviously, yeah. You have to pretend that you hate her. So there's like several different levels, and then she can really work, and she's really good at promos, and she's really good at getting the heat, and she likes the heat and stuff. So yeah,
and she's a talker, man. I mean, I don't know. Vicky Guerrero can talk on the mic pretty well, but Zelina can sling the damn lines at you. If you start getting in her shit, she'll throw it right back at you fast. So I think that's her plus.
Matt Sydal with Mike Sydal defeating Dante Martin. Dante Martin's fine.
It was okay. It was what you would expect, just flying around and shit. I mean, they're good. They're good.
Jungle Boy was about to talk about how tonight's going to be the biggest night of his life. Christian Cage walked up and, speaking of people that aren't over and can't get over,
he got pretty over last night, though.
He said Jungle Boy shouldn't just be happy to be here. He should be a little pissed off of what Omega's been saying. He told Jungle Boy to shock the fans tonight and win the title. I suppose this is an opportunity to get Christian as like superior babyface or something. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Jade Cargill,
between that and him just being a veteran coming up to him and giving him some advice kind of thing, I don't know.
Jade Cargill was with Mark Sterling advertising the Jade brand and a shop AEW promo code.
Looking fine.
Yeah, she's fantastic. She really is. Cargill ripped up a Dark Order shirt and said she was that bitch. Well, I like her for shitting on the Dark Order. I'm all about that. MJF, Wardlow, and Sean Spears were with Alex Marvez. MJF talked about attacking Jericho and having Spears attack Guevara. He doesn't understand why people are upset with him attacking Dean Malenko, an old guy with a bad heart and Parkinson's. Yeah, I don't know why people get upset about that, really.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Why does that get heat?
Explain it to me.
MJF said the fans should be thanking him because he gave Malenko an early retirement. Jericho and Hagar ran in, leading to an all-out brawl. They brawled out into the ring. The Pinnacle took control with the numbers advantage. MJF and Spears set up to destroy Jericho's arm with a chair, but Guevara ran out and took out everyone. He whacked Wardlow and Spears with the chair, with MJF fleeing up the ramp. Guevara grabbed the microphone to a loud Sammy chant. He said AEW chose the wrong guy for the action figures and the posters on Wednesday. Guevara will show MJF he's the best ever, and he knows it. I still hope that this is building to something where they start turning on Sammy Guevara because he thinks too highly of himself. I hope that's what happens. Because he saved him in the cage match. Remember, he saved, but he also like fucked him over by them not having the advantage and all that shit.
Advantage, so, yeah.
I hope that's.
I don't know, man. I think they're pushing pretty hard. I don't know. So I guess they could still push him and have like the inner circle turn on him, and
that's
whatever.
What I'm thinking. I'm thinking that's. I hope that's what happened. They turned back to being heel as opposed to babyface, and then he turns babyface. So I don't know. Miro thanked God for his power and for keeping his wife flexible. He addressed Brian Pillman Jr., saying, standing between the righteous man and his path is like standing between the cleaver and its meat. Next week, he will find out why Miro is God's favorite champion. The bravest thing he's ever done in his life was thinking about attacking Miro. The stupidest was actually doing it. Ethan Page with Scorpio Sky over Bear Bronson with Bear Boulder. They had a match.
Yeah.
That's about all
exactly. That's all I got, too.
After the match, Page said, "I'm not stupid," which was meant with "Yes, you are" chants.
That was pretty funny.
He's not stupid because he knows Darby Allin isn't done with him. Page is going to be in the nail in Allen's coffin. So why don't I just put you in one? He challenged Allen to a coffin match for July the 7th. Coffin matches.
Yeah. Coffin match.
Hey Vince, we're taking your Undertaker gimmick. Tee hee.
Next thing you know, there'll be a doll in there.
I don't know what's going
on. A female doll in the coffin and somebody trying to hump it.
Tee. Britt Baker, DMD, and Rebel listed things they'd ask for. They could think of a million things they'd ask for if Tony Khan owed them a favor, but Vicky Guerrero asked for a wrestling match. Baker's the face of a new era, one that doesn't have time for fun and games and old chicks. Excuse me in advance for beating your ass. She'll send Vicky home with prescription signed DMD.
Again, two heels going at it.
Yeah, heel programs are great. Guerrero said Nyla Rose is coming for Britt Baker's title at Fyter Fest. Rose said that next week Baker should watch out for the claws of the Cougar. Chris Stantlander with Orange Cassidy defeated the Bunny. Any thoughts on this match?
Okay, yeah, I do have some thoughts.
Please, you have the floor.
Let's start with the Bunny. All right.
As much as we love Chelsea, we're big fans of Chelsea.
I love Allie.
Allie, sorry, get it wrong.
Yeah, and we love Chelsea too.
Yes.
But as much as we love Allie, and as much as she was when we met her that time, just the most nicest person in the world. She really is. She really is. She really lived up to that Allie character. I think she's more like that Allie character from TNA originally than she is anything else.
She's like so you're saying like she thinks she's a natural face.
Oh God, yeah. If AEW would promote her like TNA tried to do and did a decent job with it, of her getting shit on all the time and being the good guy character and that sort of thing, good girl character, I think that she could get over. I'm not saying it would be a shoe-in, but I think it would work a whole lot better than this horse shit. But this whole going up to the camera and tilting her head, dude, and the last 2 or 3 matches she's had, she's been up against some pretty good opponents that would normally make everybody look good. I don't know who, I'm not pointing fingers or whatever, but she just hadn't really looked that great. And I'm not saying she was the greatest in the world in TNA, but she was progressively getting better as that character got deeper into it. And, they let her go or whatever happened. I'm not sure. I forgot how she left TNA but whatever the reason, I don't know. But if AEW would treat her like TNA was doing, I think she might be, at least it'd be a whole lot better than this shit. I just don't like it. I think it's dumb.
And by the way, I think you're right. But when's the last time you heard anybody say, if blank would just do it the way TNA did?
I realized that when I was coming out of my mouth. I really
but it's
did.
True.
It's true. That's one of the few things. If you could go nitpick some things, that would be one thing I think they did a really good job with her. I do. I mean, for what it's worth. But the other part of that, I'll start with the negative. The positive part of that match that I have thoughts on is you and I used to. I don't know. We didn't really shit on Chris Statlander, but we just were like, okay, whatever. Chris Statlander.
People were so high on her, and I was like, I don't. She's good. Yeah, I don't think she's great.
Yeah. Right, exactly. I think that was the whole thing. But I think now, at least I'm seeing why they were so high on her. I think she's starting to show some stuff now. Maybe it just took her some time to grow. Maybe it took her some time to grow on me. I don't know, but I just never saw it in the beginning. But I am seeing it now. And they made the announcers made a comment. I forgot which one it was, Shivani or Excalibur. One of was talking about her when she got injured. She was out for a while, and while she was injured, she got on this diet, this regimen of this. They didn't go into specifics, but some sort of diet where she's a lot leaner now and can move better and stuff. And I think that has a lot to do with it, man. I seriously do, because I noticed it before they even said that. Because I was like, God, the last couple of weeks, I really got into her. I mean, she's impressing me a lot more than before. So yeah, that match had a little bit of everything for me.
But the women's division still in AEW is like really hurting, I think.
It's yeah. That's one thing WWE I think has definitely got on them, and I don't mean to say that because the girls they have are good. They just don't. I just don't think they have a lot of them just don't have the experience. Some of them do, but a lot of them don't. I don't think. It seems like it. They seem young. Maybe in smaller territories or smaller organizations territories. What the fuck?
Blade attacked Orange after the match with TH2 running out to join the beatdown. I don't know what TH2 is. What is TH2?
TH2, I don't know what that stands for, but that's Jack Evans and Elico.
Another faction? Sort of?
That's part of Matt Hardy's crowd, yeah.
Oh, it's the Matt Hardy. Oh, God.
Because it ended up being Matt Hardy and Christian Cage, at the end, I think.
Blade got the knuckle duster back and knocked out Cassidy with him as TH2 held him up. QT Marshall was interviewed by Shivani about Brock Anderson.
No, that's something else. Never mind. What I said. Never mind. It's coming up. But yeah, QT Marshall.
QT Marshall was interviewed by Schiavone about Brock Anderson. He was upset that Brock got all these accolades for his debut. Marshall noted that Cody's not there. He hopes it stays that way. Brian Pillman Jr. I heard Arn talk about his son debuting and how fortunate he was to have his son there. And it's such a, because it took when Arn came in the business, it took him forever to get on TV in a match. And when he did get on TV, he was getting killed in 5 seconds by somebody. So for him to go over, I mean, that says, I think more than anything else, it says a lot about Cody. Like Cody's like, I want this guy. And the kid shouldn't have gone over by all means, but Cody goes, no, wait a minute. I want him to pin me. And I'm like, okay, shit, if that's what you want.
Well, I mean, it makes sense, dude. I mean, obviously these guys grew up together, basically. I think not grew up together, but I'm sure they saw each other around and that sort of thing growing up backstage, and they were buddies as kids and stuff, and I get that. And I appreciate that, man.
Do you think it hurts Cody though to take a pinfall from Brock Anderson?
Yes and no. It may hurt him for the people that don't really get things, just the average fan that just takes everything for what it's worth and don't really know the backgrounds of everything, like us, the geeks.
Some disturbing information on this week's Arn podcast about when Arn met his wife down in Pensacola.
Uh-oh.
He was 26. She was not quite 18.
No.
Although to hear him tell it,
it could be worse. Though.
It could be. It could be. Not much, but no. He said that
not much.
He said that they were chaperoned to visits with the family, and the family was not too super happy about having him around. And God, who would really? And then he describes his wife to be as having the damnedest bubble butt you ever saw.
All right, Carl Anderson.
Carl Anderson's always my hot Asian wife. And by the way, I've seen, you've seen the pictures and stuff.
Oh God, yeah, he's not lying.
There was one picture there was one video he was shooting. His wife was like pumping up a basketball, and she was watching these dudes with their shirts off playing basketball, and he kind of catches her, and he goes, "Really, really." Not to be, also. Festus is pretty complimentary of his wife too, and she's fairly hot too. She's on the gram. She's like a physical therapist or something.
Is she the one we met at
no.
In Gibsonville that time? Who was that?
Well, Amber, he was married to Amber.
He was
married to Amber.
No, not Amber. The girl that was working the tickets when you and me and Bruce went to when Trevor showed up that night, I think.
That was another one. I think that was another one. I think that was 2 wives ago, I think.
Oh God, man. Wow. Okay. I'm behind. I'm sorry.
Brian Pillman Jr. addressed Miro. He thinks Miro's got a God complex. Pillman's got a complex too. It's called fighting for everything he's ever had. On Wednesday, he's going to check Miro's ego and win the title. Set your sights now on June the 30th, everybody. It's June the 30th. That's going to be Wednesday. Dr. Shit Taker and Rebel versus Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero. The TNT Championship on the line as Brian Pillman Jr. Challenges Miro, MJF against Sammy Guevara, and the Young Bucks against Eddie Kingston and Penta El Zero Miedo in a tag team that didn't exist until this week.
That's right.
For Road Rager, July the 7th, it is Cody Rhodes versus QT Marshall in a strap match. All the stipulations, all the coffins, everything you want coming up on All Elite Wrestling. Eddie Kingston, Penta El Zero Miedo, and Alex Abrahante spoke. Kingston learned something about the Bucks. It doesn't matter how much they get hit because it's all about their ego. The only way to hurt them is to take those tag titles. Penta spoke in Spanish. Penta says, next week we run over you. I suppose John Moxley is on paternity leave?
I guess. I didn't think about that, but I guess he is. I hadn't really heard.
Funny posts on Twitter from Renee talking about how she's wearing shirts to accentuate her fupa as she is in post-delivery. It's weird how she and Brandy, like almost like within days of each other, gave birth, right?
Yeah, no shit.
Pretty loud. Don Callis joins commentary, and that is always a delight. More Don Callis makes this show, I think, so much better.
Yeah. Sometimes, sometimes he's okay, but majority of the time I could just.
How about this one, Bryant? Don, call it a day and get the fuck off my TV. AW World Championship was Kenny Omega with Don Callis and the Good Brothers defeating Jungle Boy with Luchasaurus and Marcus Stunt. So everybody gets involved.
I predicted. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut
No,
you.
it's fine. Everybody gets involved in this one. Go ahead.
Yeah, everybody does get involved. That's the one I was thinking earlier when at the end it was Christian Cage and Matt Hardy. But what was I going to say? Oh yeah, about the match. My prediction was on this that I thought Luchasaurus, because here's the thing, man. You tell me if I'm wrong here. Don't you wish that they would have held off on promoting Jungle Boy to the level of going for the title and waited for that and built him up really strong to get a shot? I mean, he had a good pop last night. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying they could build him up so strong to go up against Omega and even maybe beat Omega, in a few months or whatever, just for even for a couple of months, just to give it to him, But I think he's got a lot of, I just think they screwed up by putting it on this early. So I'm thinking, why would they do that? Why would they have him obviously going to get beat? He's not going to beat Omega. We knew that. I mean, did you not? Everybody kind of knew that.
Oh yeah.
Even though they were saying, well, last time, that's when Mr. Brody Lee won the TNT title. It was on a Saturday night, and anything can happen. Whatever.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Big deal. I mean, that was a big deal, I guess, but it doesn't have anything to do with this. I mean, we all know Omega's not going to lose to Jungle Boy. Come on. Not at this point. But like I said, if they could build him up so strong and then give him the shot instead of kind of wasting it on this. But what that's kind of leading into my prediction was, I'm thinking, well, why would they do this? Why would they give him this match and have him lose and push him back down the ladder, just, to have all these people and then build him back up? I thought Luchasaurus was going to turn on him last night. And I thought that was just, and have him and Luchas, and then Luchasaurus, yeah, because he would like get the shot before Luchasaurus would, or some shit, make up something, whatever, and have him battle him for the next few months, give him some momentum and some more credibility, beating a guy like Luchasaurus in the end, and then give him a shot. But I don't know. I don't know. I just didn't understand that. But I'm sure James Good has a good reason why they did it tonight.
I'm sure
we'll hear from that.
I'm sure it'll all make sense.
It'll all make sense.
I think what you're looking for is like for them to build him up, and maybe they have the big match at All Out on like Labor Day weekend.
One of those. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
The schedule is as follows: July 21st, Fighter Fest Night 2 in Garland, Texas. July 28th, it is Fight for the Fallen at Bojangles Coliseum in Charlotte, North Carolina. All Out is September the 5th at Sears Center Arena in Chicago, Illinois. And Full Gear is at Chaffetz Arena in St. Louis on November the 6th. That is your AEW pay-per-view schedule for the near future, going out until at least toward the end of the year. After the match, Omega, who wins with the one-winged angel. And the game, I think, in this is just to polish him up and make Jungle Boy look good, look like a contender. And I think, he's got his own natural skills in Omega. I thought made him look super good.
Oh yeah, I definitely, dude. He gave him a great match. It was a great match. I enjoyed it. And the thing is, for me, I just don't know why they would waste something like that now. And because what's he going to, what now? What do you do now? At least with the Luchasaurus thing, he would have something to turn his attention to, kind of like the Edge and Daniel Bryan thing, when they were kind of going at each other on as a side thing from the world title, because Edge was pissed that Bryan was sticking his nose in to try to be in the third person in the match with Roman Reigns and that sort of thing. So that's what I'm talking about. Have him, fight Luchasaurus for the next several months and then build him up. And that match last night would have made a whole lot more sense to me. But again, I don't know shit.
Well, you're not one of the 75 brilliant vice presidents of this company. You don't know. You're not smart enough to sign Tim Tebow to be a tight end in the National Football League in a position he's never played. You're not that bright.
I know. No, hell no. Not even close.
After the match, Omega looked like he would use the belt to attack Jungle Boy, but Christian ran out and sent him packing. Matt Hardy and Private Party ran out and attacked Christian. The Hardy Party. Christian was about to counter the twist of fate into kill switch, but the Young Bucks ran out and crushed Christian with super kicks. Hardy hit the twist of fate. Omega posed with the belt at the end of the show. So let me see how many factions are involved. It's Omega and the original, the Good Bullets. And then Matt Hardy's guys come out. And then the Young Bucks, I guess they're part of the Good Bullets.
Bullets, yeah.
And then, of course, the Luchasaurus, the Lucha Express, Jurassic Express. Involved.
Yeah.
So we had like at least three different factions involved in this final thing.
Yeah, it was great. That's what, honestly, that was what ruined that whole match for me, was that whole bullshit at the end. It just, I don't know. I guess they had to get all their things in to build up for this July 7th show or whatever.
In non-wrestling news, do you have any thoughts about North Carolina State University losing their chance to compete for a national championship in baseball and being sent home after several of their players tested positive for COVID-19?
Yeah, I do. But before I do, I feel like I've ranted enough, and I'd like to hand the floor to you if you would like to say something about that before I start going in on it.
I will get their coach, Elliot
Good
Avon.
Start. Good start there, sir.
Isn't Elliot Avon the coach of that team?
You are absolutely right.
And they've had a tremendous season. They started off terribly, and they were really good. And I was really rooting for them, to be honest. That was a team I was certainly rooting for. Just to Coach Avon.
Look, you
got your Tar Heel shirt on.
I was rooting for them.
I was as well.
I've got my Tar Heel shirt on. That's what I was.
The proper answer to have you been vaccinated and did you encourage your players to get vaccinated is not fuck you and go eat a dick. That's not the real proper answer to the question. Also, what he said was, "Hey, did you get vaccinated? Did you encourage the boys to get vaccinated?" And he goes, "Well, I don't do politics. I don't. You talk to my athletic director if you want to talk about."
That's what my mom said to the school when they were questioning about my chicken pox shot.
I don't do politics, motherfucker.
I don't do politics.
It's a needle into your arm, and it keeps you from getting sick. That's not political.
Dying, maybe,
Mr. Avon. And as far as you not talking to your boys, have you ever taken your shortstop aside and go, "Listen, I know you're going to the Tri-Delt party tonight. Could you please wear all the rubbers?" Or if you guys, they're going to, if you said to like your star center fielder, "How about a seatbelt? Bobby, let's wear a seatbelt. Make sure everywhere we go." Well, I don't want to get political. Those seatbelts, they're pretty political. So that's my thoughts. I feel awful for the kids. I don't know I don't know how it wasn't encouraged for them to get these shots. I don't know, since they were going to be in close contact with a lot of people, and I feel awful that it's ruined, their season in a sense. It shouldn't have. They should be very proud of what they've accomplished, but they had to go home because some people were being stupid, I think.
I just don't get it. And I'm just like everybody else, like you and Brad and from Brad and Britt show. I like everybody. I don't get it. I just had this conversation with my mom this morning. I don't get it. The universal thing about this whole thing is everybody feels bad for the kids. And we should. Absolutely. I agree with that. Everybody agrees with that, but they feel bad for them for different reasons. That's the thing. I feel bad for them, but at the same time, the few that didn't get vaccinated are the ones that this happened to. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know what you expected the NCAA to do after those guys played with like 12 players on the other day on the first Vanderbilt game. They played like 12 players, guys playing out of position
and made a hell of a showing. They made a hell of a showing out of a guy who's going to be drafted.
Against Kumar Rocker,
who's like the best. He's going to make like $30 million tomorrow. That guy.
Oh my God. He's like the Rodon guy from state that's for the White Sox. He's going to be huge. Yes.
Every player, every team in the major leagues wants to draft Kumar Rocker. If they had the opportunity, they would take him right now.
In a second, no doubt.
And they like you said, with people, the guy who got 2 hits off of this guy hadn't had an at bat all year. He had not been at the plate all year.
And it was, and honestly, it was going to be the same thing the next day. I mean, I don't know exactly. I don't think anybody really knows exactly how many would have gotten to play and how many wouldn't, but we know at least some, maybe even more. We don't know. They maybe got, but they couldn't really survive after 2 or 3 more guys were off the team. But you got to have at least 9. So they were down to 12.
If you're a young athlete, I would love it if your takeaway from this is, geez, I better get that vaccine. I better make sure mom and dad, truck me on down to the health department and get me that vaccine, or to CVS, because you can go almost virtually any place in America. You can get the thing now. Like,
oh yeah.
I don't care if you live in, a town of 1,000 people, or if you live in New York City, you can go into CVS, you can go to a grocery store, there's a lot of places you can walk.
Oh, it's easy peasy now.
But now I think the takeaway is going to be, yeah, fuck the government, which I don't know how that happens.
No, I'm gonna tell you the thread. I've been reading several different threads, and we all know what the threads are going to say on Facebook,
right.
Like from any of the news channels that put up anything controversial, anything has to do with COVID. The people that's going to respond to this, and you may have seen this post. I don't know. Our good lieutenant governor.
Oh God.
Yes, posted something.
This is what is his name? Mark Robinson.
Mark Robinson,
the guy he's a warrior against. He's a culture warrior, particularly against critical race theory. That's like his big. He's really attacking that.
Well, we seem to pump them out here for whatever reason.
Yeah,
pump out those people, but in this state, unfortunately, but. The people that were responding to that, and all the news sites that were putting up about state, going home because of COVID, it's like you blaming NCAA and all. And look, I'm not the biggest NCAA fan either, but come on, man. What do you want Vanderbilt to beat them? And then everybody go, well, if they'd have had other players, they would have. That's what would have happened if State would have lost again. They lost because they didn't have other players.
You gave the NCAA no choice. There was no choice there.
Right. And they're like, well, they did it in the dark of night, in the middle of the night at 2 o'clock in the morning.
It wasn't at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm sorry, but there was a weather delay and it had to be decided.
Right. It was after the game.
I'm sorry that happened to you, but you were supposed to play at 11. So, all right, well, we're going to stop. We're not going to do it at 2. We'll do it at 8:30. That's is that a good hour for everybody? The thing
that's what they make it sound like.
For you guys that don't know, NC State in general in their fan base has the largest inferiority complex, like in the universe anyway. They always think that everybody's against them, and God bless them. In some cases, they've not been on the top shelf and they've gotten short shrift on a few things, sure, but they always feel, and it's very much the Republican mindset of, oh my God, this guy's against, this liberal group's against me, the government's against, everybody's against me. Dude, just go take the free, safe vaccine that keeps you healthy. You've seen all of the stories about the Delta variant. Oh my God, the Delta variant, it's going to be a huge problem unless you're vaccinated. But
here's and I don't mean to get off on this, but in a way I do, because I think people watching this or listening to this podcast, anything people listen to need to know this shit. Okay. Yeah. I'm not going to get on here and preach like I'm a doctor, but I'm just going by the facts that are out there from doctors. Okay. And the fact that people aren't going out and getting the damn shot is the reason that State is not playing right now. Okay. That's a easy connect the dot motherfucking shit. Okay.
A to B. Occam's razor.
A to right? B. And the people that don't get that, and like I said, they're the same people that would bitch and moan if State lost, if they played the second game against Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Well, they wouldn't have had other players. Okay. It's just a vicious circle, man. And politics aside, honestly, politics aside, this whole shot thing is just crazy. And I'm tired of dealing with it. I'm tired of talking about it. And I think at this point, dude, these people aren't going to budge. And I don't care. You can offer $1 million lotteries and all that stuff it's not going to happen. And this in 6 months from now, when wintertime hits, and it's going to be bad. I'm predicting it right now. It's going to be bad.
Yeah, but then those people that didn't get vaccinated go, look, it's still killing people. Yeah, dumbasses like you that didn't get the shot.
That's the thing, man. It's just they say this shit and they don't even realize what they're saying sometimes. And I'm like, look, if you don't want to get vaccinated for chicken pox or measles or whatever, okay, that's bad enough. But whatever. If you don't want to do that, then don't do it.
The flu shot.
The flu shot, okay? And I'm not going to sit here and say I get a flu shot every year, but it's because I'm lazy. If they said, right. You know what, if you don't get a flu shot, you might die.
Right.
Okay. I think I'll go get a flu shot. I'm not going to go, well, if the government told me I'm going to die, blah, 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 blah. I've had shots, dude. And I've said this before. You know how many shots they gave me in boot camp? You know how many fucking shots they gave?
You were a fucking pincushion.
Oh my God. We'd go down the line and they'd have one guy on one side on the side of my arm, giving me 2 shots at the same time. One of them was shot. I got a shot of, felt like cold peanut butter in my ass that I had to sit on the ground and grind that shit in.
All right, speaking of cold peanut butter in your ass, come down to my basement.
Oh, the government's fucking me up,
I've got some hot peanut butter to put in your ass.
Vince's basement's full of hot peanut butter.
I got some hot peanut butter right here for you. You want smooth or crunchy?
But damn, man, I'm just, I'm just tired of it all. I'm just tired of it. Just go get a damn shot.
The takeaway from this for like a young athlete should be, shit, I need to go get this shot.
You would think.
It's not going to be.
You would think. But I just, I'm tired of this whole politicizing a damn shot. Just,
it's not politics.
I don't. But
the people that are politicizing it are claiming that other people are playing politics.
I know. That's the funny thing.
It's like the guy who hits the woman. Like, Susie, why did you make me hit you? Why did you do that? Why are you bringing domestic violence into this marriage? I don't understand. Wait a minute, you're the one who just hit me.
Yeah.
It's a good rant. Bryant is available you can rant further with Bryant on social media, Twitter and Instagram. It's Bryce Sports. On TikTok, he's Stanley Jackson 23. The show Twitter is Katie Vick Alive. I am on Twitter at Britt Whitmire, BrittWhitmire. Instagram is BDub for Reels, BDUB 4 REELZ. And if you want to support what we do, it's very easy to do at our Amazon store, which is katievick.com. That is katievick.com. Does not change the price of the stuff that you're buying, but it helps us out a little bit. And until next time, fans, we'll see you ringside.